Not to fear, we have a solution. A show where you can learn the art of dispute. Filmed under the glorious technicolor of rainbows and rifles, with a cast of teddy bears armed with switchblades. Where both the opinions and the adult beverages are strong. Tune in, turn on, and comment your giddy hearts out. We're going live in
3, 2, 1, action!
Welcome to the Art of Dispute, the only show where you can be friended and offended all in the same freaking hour. That's just how we roll. People are like tuning in and they're like, hey, I like this guy. Hey, what did he just say? That sucked. He's rude. That's just how we roll here on the show, right? We talk about all the crazy subjects and we deal with the problem, you know what I refer to as the zero to Nazi effect. That is, you know what I'm talking about. You probably experienced in the social media world where you post something and the flames start happening and it just goes from zero to you're a Nazi. I will now punch you in the face and go outside and set fire to your car. Well, we have a solution here on the Art of Dispute. It's alcohol.
Cheers.
Yes, cheers. Yes.
Music never hurt.
We've got a great show planned for you guys today. A really fun subject that I know is going to bring some heat, and that is, should churches, temples, mosques, those sort of things remain tax-free? Or should they be paying taxes? What do you guys think? Chime in with your thoughts, your comments, that sort of thing. We're going to discuss it on the show. But before we do, I'm going to let my guests share their shameless plugs, promote whatever the heck they want to promote, because that's part of their exorbitant pay package for being on the show. And then we'll get their thoughts on this subject. So, Jay Bee Zay, take it away.
I am Jay Bee Zay.
That rhymed. That was pretty awesome. That wasn't even planned.
You know what? I'm proud of you.
Mad skills.
A round of applause. My name is Jay Bee Zay. I have an original band called Jay Bee Zay and the Nightcrawlers, but I also am the owner and operator of Plug and Play Music Group, which I do open mics and I help singer-songwriter, aspiring artists to get shows in Houston. Acoustic acts as far as like cover gigs, and then I run roundtables where artists can express their original music only and in front of a crowd. So
very cool.
Yeah.
So it's easier to run round tables than square ones because they roll better.
It's weird.
Dad jokes strong.
Dad jokes. Dad jokes.
You can
brace yourself.
You can find me at Plug and Play Music Group on Facebook, Twitter, across the board, and Jay Bee Zay.
Info is somewhere
Jay Bee Zay
on
and the
the screen right about
yeah.
now.
It's like, it's over here. Is that how they do it at
somewhere?
Can we put like a little thing right here?
I don't
in
need
the video. It's
yeah.
like it's this. So just follow this right here.
There you go. Production will make it happen.
All right, and it's probably not going to happen. I'm going to look like an idiot.
In fact, I think we will purposely
They're
put
gonna be
it somewhere else.
You're going to put it over here. It's like it's just follow here and it's over here. It's
yes, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah, that's my plug. Go ahead.
All right, Mars.
Okay, my plug. Hey, I'm Mars, Eyes of Mars Photography. You know me. If you don't, sorry. So, we are promoting the Nectar Lake to Houston Art to Farm Market every third Saturday. So make sure to get those forms filled out at the Facebook page of Lake Houston Art to Farm Market and get on board because it's going to be a fun train. Woo woo into Artville.
Right. Jeff.
Hi, my name is Jeff with a G. I am a MC producer of such shows as On Exhibit. On Exhibit is a monthly show where we showcase different artists of different milieus, as it were. Fancy word there. So whether they do things like comedy, music, sideshow, burlesque, performance arts, it's all based on a singular theme. We've had past themes, things like space, things that go bump the night, stuff like that. I'm also a member and producer for a show known as Trashfire Sideshow, which is the craziest sideshow in town. Myself, Scabs the Clown, Cooter Juggins, Nick the Vegan, Chris Broken, we get together, and we do really, really, really stupid stuff on stage. We do stuff on stage every month, the first Saturday every month at Darwin's Pub. So, always great fun to do.
Right on. This show is brought to you by the letter M and the word milieu.
Milieu.
Both of those.
If only.
I know, that's where I met her.
No, my mom did college, not went to college. Different thing.
That was wrong. I'm sorry. It was like
And
low-hanging
it was
fruit.
all going so well.
I know.
Your mom
It went
low-hanging
ugly.
fruit.
It went ugly. We didn't even make it like 5 minutes into the show before it went
yeah,
ugly.
okay.
All right. So we got a serious topic here, guys, and I want to know what y'all's thoughts are because we got to take a break pretty soon, and I want to make sure you guys have the opportunity to chime in. What are your thoughts on this subject? Should churches, temples, mosques, that sort of thing, remain tax-free, or should they be paying taxes? What do you think, Jay?
It's never really bothered me. Like I know. Like
Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, and we're done.
Yeah,
Are we talking about things that bother us? Like it's just I don't know. It's live and let live kind of thing. Like it's weird. I grew up in a very Christian home, Baptist, Methodist. My father is a music minister, so I grew up with the whole thing, and it just never bothered me that I don't know. It's like there's so many things that I'm paying taxes on that don't involve me, like
God, that's true.
I mean, we were making jokes about like
School taxes.
Yeah, school taxes.
Right?
I don't have any kids. It's like
I just met him.
it's like there's so many things that I can be complaining about and like that I'm paying taxes on that have nothing to do with me. But so why do I need to single out the churches just because I'm not religious? Like, I grew up in a religious home, but I'm not religious, and I'm so against organized religion because I feel like they have a prerogative and they want to, I don't know.
I'm 100% for disorganized religion.
Yeah, I mean, if it can be disorganized
That's my
and,
favorite
just
kind,
people
too.
get together,
Just
like,
people
it's
generally not knowing what they're doing.
I would go to that. I would go to that. What's
I
it
kind of
called?
feel like that's all. Hey,
What's that religion recalled? Because I will go to that religion. But
Services start at 10 or 10:15
Ish.
Tuesday, Thursday, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
but
We roll up in here when we roll up, and then
It's
we
called Discordianism.
Yeah.
It does exist. No, it does.
I thought it was my time. I thought it was my time.
They're stealing Jay's time.
Do we put a finger up? Like,
I'll give
Jeff
you
is a time thief. I'm so sorry, Jay.
I didn't realize that being that kind of
oh
show.
man. Oh, here we go.
Mars.
Jackets are coming off.
Joe! Joe!
What's your thoughts?
I mean, but that's my thought.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I feel like live and let live. Like, if you don't want to pay taxes, be a pastor. Like, don't complain about someone else's accomplishments and privilege,
Okay.
basically.
Right? All right.
I don't necessarily look at it that particular way. How I look at it is, when my income goes up, so does my tax bracket. Why should they get away with not paying any taxes at all? I realize that ostensibly they're supposed to be doing something in the community. But you pointed out a wonderful
Ostensibly.
point that I am not going to give away at this point.
We can only use
So-
big words that start with M.
That's fair.
The milieu.
Yeah.
Ostensibly.
Melanoma.
Yeah, right.
Noma.
I think your point is pretty malignant.
An ancient Mesopotamia.
At any rate,
Melanin.
She's really good.
Yeah, she's actually an artist that comes to my open mic. But anyways,
Don't
go
be
ahead.
so myopic.
I'm going to be less...
After that shot, you're going to be more malleable.
Okay, so
Say that 3 times fast.
I would like to, but I'm not going to.
So you're a no.
All right,
as you were
we're
saying.
imposing on her
As you were
time.
saying.
I know.
We're
What
imposing
was
on her
I
time.
saying? Because I don't remember.
They make
We're
more
talking about
money. They make more money,
tax,
and so
the tax
yeah.
bracket and
If my tax bracket goes up, why shouldn't theirs? I do a lot of good in the community too. I plant
Well, it's 0 now,
trees.
so I say we double it.
Oh crap! Here we go. So yeah,
Nerds.
tax them. You go, boy.
Okay. My personal opinion is, regardless whether or not it is a religious or secular organization, if they want to be applied for a non-profit status, they need to exhibit X amount of stuff that proves they are helping the community at large. Regardless, it's beyond whatever the scope is for what their main focus is. So, like, for example, the Catholic Church would need to take care of more than just Catholics and not trying to proselytize, but they're taking care of the community at large. Or if, like, the American Cancer Society go with a secular society to go that route, they're also taking care of stuff at large. So they're providing screenings for the society at large. They're doing things that helps society at large, not just one little segment if they want to apply for non-tax status. And I'm an atheist. I'm like hardcore. I do not care for organized religion in general, but if they're willing to help community, I'm all for people to be have that non-tax status, as long as they are doing everything they can to support the community at large.
And what you said was the point. Provide proof that you are doing this.
Oh yeah, of course, that's how that works. I mean, you can't go, yeah, I'm totally helping people. No, you go, here, this is how I'm helping people. I've opened this food kitchen that provides food for 10,000 people here in the Houston area, as an example. Random. No.
We have lots of meat on the bone to discuss. There was multiple assertions made that I look forward to, opposing thoughts to and seeing what your opinions are. But we have to, keep the lights on or off, as the case may be. At least some of the lights on.
Exorbitant pay package for us guests.
Right. I mean, these guys are
liquor.
Yeah, I mean, 10 grand a show is expensive.
brought to us by
Brought to you by the Grain Cellar. We'll give them a shameless plug when we come back.
Hey, Preston.
Yes, Preston's a great guy. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Do you suffer from chronic back pain? There is a solution to the suffering. The Body Mechanics, an orthopedic and medical massage focused practice that specializes in helping clients work through and overcome musculoskeletal injuries and chronic pain. By applying our science-based concepts through the art of massage therapy techniques, we can help you eliminate that pain. At The Body Mechanics, we take it as our responsibility to provide our clients with the highest level of care. We take time to get to know you, your history, and your obstacles, and most importantly, your wellness goals. We help you meet your goals through skillfully applied advanced massage therapy techniques and recommending self-care routines to improve overall well-being. Come in today and let The Body Mechanics apply our years of training and expertise to soothe away your aches. Mention this ad and receive our functional movement assessment for free, a $35 savings.
Welcome back to the Art of Dispute. Yes, we are having a crazy good time. This is a first for us, doing a pre-recorded gig, so we've been drinking for like 2 hours now since the last break.
We're roughly out of tequila.
There's been shots going on. I mean, it's been a crazy show. Which, by the way, time to give a shout out to the Grain Cellar out in Humble.
Hey, Preston!
All things fermented.
applause.
Right? Exactly.
Yay!
My second favorite thing for me.
Yeah, there you go. All right. I know you have a sponsor out there who's not paying us on this show.
So we're not gonna mention
So they don't get to be mentioned.
I can talk to them, and by the time this thing airs, they could be.
Right? You never know.
We can edit it out.
So the Grain Cellar out in Humble, everything fermented. Preston out there is a rock star, man. He supplies the alcohol for the show. And if you want to learn how to make beer, you want to learn how to make wine, he's your go-to guru on the north side. So check him out. All right, so we have a pretty cool topic going on here. Before the break, we had a good intro to the subject. You guys shared your thoughts. We're going to dive in now. What do y'all think? Should churches, mosques, temples, that sort of thing, generally speaking, religious organizations, but I'm going to flip out there to, when we're talking about organizations getting tax-free status, there's a lot of organizations that get tax-free status, not just religious institutions.
Every 501c.
Every 501c, and we can talk about them and how it applies across the board. So, do you guys have some more in-depth thoughts? You wanna call, poo-poo on someone else's opinion here and chime in with your thoughts? I mean, do I need to bust out the gloves or
Since the last break, I think I've changed. I've changed my view. No. It stands with me. Like, I pay taxes on a lot of different things that have nothing to do with me.
Amen.
I'm a full-time musician.
God,
like, why am I paying taxes at all? Like,
I've literally never, I have an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old. They've never darkened the doors of a public school, nor would they, as I loathe that institution. Yet, I get raped for that tax every year.
And you get taxed and then you put your kids in private school and then you have to pay that out of pocket to put them in a private school. So if you're gonna complain about churches being tax-free, like, you're gonna have to complain about them all. Like, you can't just pick and choose because you're not a religious person. Like, it feels like you're bullying one aspect of not or paying taxes. You can't just be that specific. If you, like, why aren't you complaining about the other things that you're paying taxes on that has nothing to do with you?
I wish more people were complaining about taxes.
I mean, we're all complaining. I hate paying taxes, but it's like,
Get me started on taxes, please.
If I'm gonna, like, complain about this one thing, I need to start complaining about other things that has nothing to do with me.
It's
like,
not a mandatory thing.
well, I mean, I'm only gonna pay taxes on the roads that I drive on. Like, I'm only gonna pay taxes in my vicinity. Like,
Well, that's the other side as far as...
I feel like you help. You pay taxes to help your fellow man.
Which is what I was saying earlier. In fact, the goal is regardless of the type of organization, is whether it's religious or secular, that they have to provide a service for the populace at large. So if they don't, then why should they get special treatment? And that's regardless of whether or not. So that's just like you. They should also be being the ones paying the taxes to fund the stuff that they may not be involved with. But if they provide a service at large.
So let me ask you this question then.
Yeah.
Based on that notion, doesn't every single charity discriminate in some way? In other words, like schools discriminate against families that don't have children. Right? So you still have to pay taxes.
Well,
right? Hang on. And like Planned Parenthood performs services for women. I don't see a lot of guys going in there. I could go through the list
Don't
of...
go to the doctor.
Well, when they...
I can talk about those.
Hey, when they were giving away free condoms,
Okay.
I used to go there all the time.
Okay. Well, there.
I can talk about
They would give you a little brown bag special.
don't-
That's what we called it back in...
I'm not trying to pick on any one of those organizations. What I'm saying is, don't all charities in some way serve an audience? So if you're identifying the problem as being because they only serve a certain segment, a church only serves a Christian segment, or a mosque only serves a Muslim segment, right? If that's the basis of discrimination, don't all charities do that?
That's what
She raised her hand.
Wait.
You didn't raise
No,
your hand.
I was asking him.
He's asking me specifically.
Right.
All right,
And then
so-
we'll come back to you.
All right, so
you got next.
okay, so those 3 points I'm going to go through real quick. We'll start with Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood provides services not just for women, but also for men as well, if they choose to use it or not. They don't care about gender there. So you have the choice of going in there to take care of any sort of needs that involves of anything for planning stuff for yourself. So if you have bumps or rashes, you can totally go to Planned Parenthood, just so you know. For schools, even if you don't have kids.
He would know.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just want to point out that Jeff knows this and I did not.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Welcome to the Jack with Jeff segment of the show.
That's fair. I actually dated a woman who actually works for Planned Parenthood, which is why I know all that information.
That's
I'm sorry.
why.
I just laugh at the
Likely
bumps
story.
and rashes.
That's fair. That's fair. I also hang out with Scabs the Clown and Mr. Vegan.
That's actually what I call my bumps and rashes.
Scabs and Vegan, so it's fair. So the fact
We
is,
just lost our PG rating. It's gone.
And it's all going so well.
But anyway, as I was saying back, so that explains for at least that service. So they still provide the populace at large. A lot of people aren't aware of the populace for other parts of the populace. For schools, you know what? At large, I mean, kids, for us to survive as a species of people like that goes beyond just us. It goes to the next generation as well. So the reason schools are important, even for those people who don't have kids, which is me, I'm happy to pay taxes for schools because that helps us in the future. So I want to forego and do that because that helps the populace at large. Now, if you want to go specifically churches and stuff like that, I'm okay if they're wanting to, if they're wanting to say, like, I want to do this charity that aspects for this sort of thing that fits their religious bent. But as long as they do not discriminate when they offer that service, that's the difference, is if they are discriminatory about offering that service to help the populace, that's where it becomes a problem. So if they want to provide a homeless shelter, but only for Christian people, that is not cool. But if they want to provide a homeless shelter, but they still want to advocate what their religion is, I'm still kind of hinky about that, but they're willing to accept everybody, then they should be able to accept everybody. That's what makes it populace at large.
So let me ask you this, on that note, and do you have a thought you want to chime in on, or is it already gone?
That train has left.
Okay.
She's been drunking.
So let me ask you on that note. A mosque or a temple, any of these places that challenge people with a message, and that is their sole, contribution to the their society, their little populace around them. Again, regardless of church, mosque, temple, right? Generally speaking, at least my experience with most religious institutions, there's a commonality in language about how you contribute to the world around you, right? Messages of service and et cetera. If they had no function of homeless shelter, whatever, any other external service, other than their service of opening the doors and saying anybody of any faith or any non-faith or whatever else is welcome to walk through the doors and hear what we have to say, right? Should they be tax-free or not?
If they do not provide a social service for the populace at large, they should not be tax-free.
And this is my question. So your opinion that...
Sounds like a timeshare.
You made a noise.
Hang on. I want to, because I think this is an important point to the subject, right? Again, whether it's mosque, temple, church, or not, doesn't matter to me. Is your position that what they have to share as a message, that doesn't qualify for tax-free?
Correct.
Okay.
It's just like a secular society, just like secular, non-secular, if they do not provide a social service, they should not be
So why would a school then be tax-free?
Because a school does provide a social service.
Right. Name the difference.
Educate's a mess.
Name the difference is what I'm getting at. Because both would argue it's an education point. So...
like a school at large. Because schools provided education for the populace at large, regardless of whatever their affiliation is,
and
religious or otherwise. Versus a church who may have a school.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking about. So in other words, the church, the mosque, the temple. If I was in the position of saying, well, the school has no homeless shelters, et cetera, all this stuff, right? Their sole function is a speaking endeavor to teach.
They're educating the populace
to educate, right?
Yes.
So I'm saying, why is your education tax-free and my education's not?
Well, the difference then also comes, then we get into a different discussion on whether or not actual education of facts and science is different from things like faith, which is, once again, I said earlier, I'm an out-and-out atheist, and so the thing is like, faith is not a factual thing. It can be a truthful thing, just a truth and fact. And so the reason the difference is the fact is that if the church or mosque or whatever temple, and I have friends on either side, if they're just teaching whatever their quote-unquote faith or morality is, that is not exclusive for that sort of thing, versus a universal fact and stuff like that with school, which is trying to teach the populace at large, regardless of what their faith is. And so they're helping the populace at large.
So if a church, temple, and mosque in all of their own languages taught a universal principle of the golden rule, do unto others as you would have done unto you,
right, which encourages a societal, non-violent, non-theft, all the things that I could demonstrate from a factual standpoint or positives to the community.
Yeah.
You're saying that because that's not...
All right, that's a complete... Okay, once again, we're talking... That's a difference between fact... That's also a difference in morality, which isn't also religious exclusive as well. I consider myself to be a very moral person, but I do not do that basis on a religious basis. I base that on a logical basis. Basically, I go, I like things happening well to me, so I will help others, and I do that because that's what I think is the best thing to do. That has nothing to do with what weird guy in the sky is serving me guy cake or whatever like that.
I mean, like, where do you draw the line, though?
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
where do you draw the line when like you're actually doing a public service and helping people?
Kind of where I was going with my point is that this is a subjective line that's being drawn.
Who's the person that's going to tell you?
And
like,
what government
you know what,
entity
you're
would you
not
want to
doing
enforce
enough,
that?
So you're going to have to pay taxes.
No, here's the difference. Because okay, if I walk into,
like, is it going to be a form that we fill out? Or
tax them all. Tax them all.
Tax them all? I mean, maybe.
I mean, it's
tax them all, or
I mean, we can go into like a
like
point
and
thing as far as we're just talking
the
vagaries right now as far as what's going on.
Yeah, the devil is in the details.
Yeah.
I think in an age when Congress and the Senate are rating Medicare and saying, hey, we're broke, everybody ought to be on deck to pay taxes. I don't care who you are. If you are a resident of this country,
If I'm
at
paying
this
them, you're
point,
paying them. You know what I mean?
pay taxes, chip in. We're in arrears, not just with ourselves, but with the whole world. Everybody should be on deck. Everybody should have their wallet out. It's that kind of thing, isn't it now, Senate?
You know what,
and
I'm going to
Congress?
change
We
my
own
view.
China.
Like,
You
billion.
said
But then again,
that we were so
shifting
deep
more
in
towards
debt
the
that you
senator.
had to take our Medicare away from us. Everybody needs to be taking it out of their pay at that point.
Or a
period.
novel idea, we get government out of our business.
that's where I was going with it, Josh.
And,
I'd love to chime in and say that
That is
Where is
that's-
his voice coming
Wait,
from?
wait.
They are
God
giving me
voice.
the Jewish mother guilt. You need to be on board with the fact that everybody needs to be there to help.
Like,
if we are that bad off that they're taking money that we have paid in out of our taxes, out of our pay, out of our hard-working blood,
It's-
sweat, and tears, then why should anybody be exempt from chipping in? At least until the dark times have passed.
Well, I mean, it's
But
if
isn't
they
that
provide
why-
if
There
they
is
provide
no dark
great
times
services
passing.
and things
Yeah.
like homeless
Isn't that
and stuff
why
like that,
they
they'll offset
instituted
that.
income tax to begin with during
Yeah.
World War II? Help us
World
out
War
during
I,
these
but it's
tough
okay.
times, buy bonds,
Well, one
all
into
of
two,
that.
I mean, the original income tax was initiated in the early 1900s for World War I.
Yeah.
Just carried through. But again, it was just supposed to be for the war, but I mean, like all
Yeah, it
taxes
was
in
just
government.
supposed to be.
It's-
for
They're
that
like, man, we made a lot of
particular
money
time.
off of this.
Here's
Keep it going.
here's the problem is the fact is like also the difference between then and
We have like 20 different subjects going right
Oh,
now.
that's right.
okay.
And the back as far as whether religious organizations should be responsible for paying taxes. I'm of the opinion that if they don't provide a great social service that is equal for everybody to help everybody out, I think then they should be taxed. And it's populace at large.
And see, the difficulty I have with that is that I feel like it's a subjective
What was the
measure.
statistic that you mentioned earlier?
Right. So who defines what a benefit is and all this sort of thing.
We have laws
I'm
already
like,
for that.
I'm like, I can look at the education that's provided by, for instance, just take I know these stats like on the top of my head. Private schools outperform public schools infinitely better.
Well, yeah,
Infinitely
because
better.
they're underfunded and can only afford so much when it comes to public schools.
They actually, I mean, like, I'm talking about on a funding level,
Yeah.
private schools in comparison, because most people have the idea of like the Ivy League private school, but that's not that. I taught on the school board, I was on the school board and taught at a private school for 5 years, that if you took the dollar spent per student, on the elementary side, half of what we spend in the public school, half. On the college side, 2/3 of what we spend for the high school student. So we spend far more on average, and this is nationwide. We spend far more in public school than we do in private school per student. The way lower graduation rates,
I mean, like, pick a category. Public school sucks in comparison.
But you also have to factor, but you have to factor in is where those dollars go into play.
Fact check me, baby.
No, it's not about
I got
that.
a good
As far as
fact
how
for you.
those dollars actually factor in to far
The
as each
all-knowing
individual
Oz
students,
is
which
behind
different.
the screen.
There you go.
So-
Hang on. One comment at a time.
Yeah.
We got to figure what's our co-host saying behind the scenes.
This fact right here is it's pretty relevant to what y'all are talking about. So it says, according to the National Center of Charitable Statistics, more than 1.5 million nonprofit organizations are registered in the U.S.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay.
1.5 million, including churches, including government buildings, including civil leagues,
yeah.
including everything.
That sounds about right. I deal with charities all the time, so that's part of
Yeah,
my
so,
job,
I mean, like, dialing it back to the subject at hand, my point is that, first of all, you end up kind of with a subjective, what's a benefit, who's benefiting, how's it benefiting, et cetera. We can argue, I can argue from a standpoint of, I think public schools are a horrible blight on our society. And like, if I could get rid of them and privatize it all, I would, because I can demonstrate that we perform better with a privatized education than a public education.
Well, that's a different discussion to have, though.
yeah.
So
We're like
it's-
over. Holy
We've been way
crap.
over.
Oh, dude, it's
We
been-
are in the red.
Wow, we gotta go.
We're
All
back.
right. It's this is what happens when you get into a subject.
Time
Jeez.
flies.
I didn't want to tell
We'll be
you.
right back after a word from our sponsors. Holy crap, I'm sorry.
Phil and Derek's Restaurant and Jazz Bar, located in the midst of bustling Midtown in Houston. You'll find a laid-back atmosphere and ambiance reminiscent of the comfort of your own living room, coupled with the flair of pizzazz and glitz from live New York-style cabaret entertainment 7 nights a week. Phil and Derek's is not only the ideal restaurant with a great, long-standing wine selection, but also with a full bar as well. Phil and Derek's stock and knowledge of wines from Napa Valley wines, French Bordeaux, Spanish and Argentinian wines, just to name a few, are the envy of wine connoisseurs far and wide. Phil and Derek's Sunday brunch was voted best morning after brunch for 3 consecutive years. Come indulge in the ample buffet of crepes, omelets, various salads, meats, complimentary mimosas, and much, much more. Enjoy delicious foods from the kitchen until midnight. We're equipped with large dining areas, ideal for every party need, whether business or pleasure. Come see and enjoy all that Phil and Derek's has to offer.
Three. Action.
Welcome back to the Art of Dispute. We're having a great time here on the show. That was an awesome sponsor. I don't even know who the heck it was. I think it was Phil and Derek's. I could be wrong. I love Phil and Derek's. John Cruz, great friend of mine down in Midtown. If you haven't checked out this place yet, you definitely freaking need to check it out. They have live music there 7 days a week, top-notch bands, top-notch food, really cool little venue, outside patio to chill on, which like at this time of year is super dope. Just hang out, have some great adult beverages, which I'm running low on.
I think you said dope.
I didn't say dope. All right, that was Joe. That was Joe trying to be cool.
That's part of the budget.
He's not
Dope.
It's part of the exorbitant.
Do they even say that
That's
anymore?
what I told.
Do they even say that anymore? Dope? Is that a thing?
I mean, you just did. You're bringing it back.
Right. I'm cool enough to just roll it on my own, so y'all deal with it. There we go.
It is dope.
Yeah, we're gonna play.
I will say that on stage now. This is dope. Just like that. This is dope.
Yes, this is dope.
We even have a visual cue to show them what dope is.
No.
It has to be above my head right here.
I mean, the dopest dope I ever smoked.
We're gonna show every Colorado voter ever. Oh, that was it. I'm sorry, we just lost all the Colorado fans right there. They tuned out.
Oklahoma went medicinal, so.
Okay, all right. So, this is the segment of the show. We have a little fun. We got to lighten it up, man. We got a pretty intense round going. There was like kung fu fighting in the parking lot after that last segment. So, this is called Fact or Fiction. And our co-host with the most, the Odd, the Wizard of Odd,
The all-knowing.
Behind the curtain.
all-seeing.
Behind the curtain.
Right?
Wizard.
So guys, check it out. AOD, Art of Dispute, the Wizard of Odd.
That's it, I'm out.
That's totally dope.
Pump game strong. Pump game strong.
Am I the only one that's not going to feed into this?
Right, I know.
Ego.
Come on.
That's
Well,
it, I'm out.
he should be odd. He's the one with no hair, and he should be the big head.
Oh, big giant head.
Well, that's a whole
But
different
with
color.
the man behind the curtain
One.
operating the big bald head.
Oh, boy.
All right, that's pretty
Okay.
good. That's pretty good.
Okay.
All right,
I
so
was
this is
told
fact or
that there
fiction,
would be
guys.
candy, booze, and trivia.
This
We
is
got candy.
I'm here all show.
this is fact or fiction, and our co-host with the most, the Wizard of Odd, is going to read us a question or a comment, and you guys will have to determine if it's fact or if it's fiction. You'll write it down on your boards, and this is an honor system, so like don't look around.
Why?
Right? Don't look around. No cheating. And it's a last person standing.
Jay sucks.
So when you, if you get it right, you stay in. If you get it wrong, you drop out. Last person standing wins this glorious trophy.
Oh,
right
I
here.
want to win.
The glorious trophy.
That's not phallic at all.
I will no. It's 100% valid.
Triumphant.
And I will tell you exactly what trophy you won at the end of the contest here. So are we ready? All right. Fact or fiction?
Alright, this first one's super, super easy, guys. So, water is also called H2O. Fact or fiction?
That is
How do you
100%.
spell fact?
Do, do, do.
That is 100% faction.
F-I-C-T-I-O-N.
It's D-I-C.
Oh.
Do, do.
Fact.
All right, do you all
Is
have
it
your
with a
answers?
PH or with an
Answers, show the answers. You're gonna have to write bigger than that. Nobody can see that, Mars. All right, they're all in. Facts. We got it right, Chris. Everybody's got it right.
Alright, so next one's gonna be the fifth planet away from the sun is Mars. The fifth planet away from the sun is Mars.
Fact or fiction?
Technically, she's sitting in between Jay Bee Zay and me.
I'm right here.
That one.
We're just orbiting.
Where's the sun in relation to where we're sitting? It's just-
Do, do.
Yeah, ready when it.
All right, here we go.
I'm ready.
That
You
is
go first.
fiction.
I feel like Jay is writing a lot.
That is fiction. What is he writing?
He wrote faction.
Ah!
But he wrote fact in the small.
You're out because you didn't.
I wrote fiction.
Oh.
The fifth planet
Oh, yeah.
is Mars.
But
It is not
It's
Mars.
not.
Nope. That's
I am
Makes sense.
not.
Yes,
Jay missed it. He wasn't paying attention.
I was not.
Too many drugs in the 60s.
Do, do.
All right. We're down one. One man down. All right, here we go.
Alright.
What?
20.
Question 3.
I'm sorry. 20 minus 30 plus 10 equals 0.
20 minus 30 plus 10 equals 0. You know you're going to get math questions on this show.
I was told there was going to be no math today.
20 minus 30.
Plus 10.
Do, do, do,
Plus 7.
do, do. Alright, time's almost up. You better hurry.
Minus the square root of 0.
Times 11.
Divided by pies.
I love pies. They're so tasty.
Is that why we don't have pods in the house anymore?
That's right.
All right.
Because they eat.
That is
Answers?
fact.
It is a fact.
Fact. Oh, no, Mars, you wrote fiction.
Yeah, I was being asked mine because I wasn't told that I was going to be doing math. Math is
I wasn't told I was going to deal with planets, but
Hey!
All right.
we are.
I'm
We have a winner.
Do we have a winner?
Trash fire.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, Jeff, you are the 2002,
We have a wiener.
the 2002 Texas
It
State
is
finalist,
mighty.
best party wear.
We have a wiener.
I think we are officially NC-17 now.
No, we're 20 minus 30 plus
I'm just
10.
trying to give an innocent little trophy over here for
give it
best
to him.
party wear.
Give it
Best
to him.
party wear.
Best party wear, 2002.
Just give it to him.
That is the great
Yay!
phallic thing that they have going on here.
I don't know what you were doing in 2002, but you got best party wear for it. So.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
Oh gosh! All right, I don't even know like how much time we have left in this
I don't
segment.
know,
It's already
but
been
he's
kind of nutty.
stroking that, and that's making me feel
Cheers, sir.
things.
Cheers.
That
Right?
should.
Getting his feels on.
That's how it works.
All right, so we may have time for one comment.
Yeah, what's the comments?
We may have time for a comment.
We're about 8 minutes in.
All right, so throw out one comment, and we'll try to hit that comment, and then we're gonna take a break.
All right, Justin Willingham, thank you for tuning in, Justin. He says, any organization that is designated as a 501c3 is strictly prohibited from political speech. They aren't allowed to openly oppose or support any candidate.
Oh, yeah.
The church belongs in politics. As a church, you should not trade your free speech for money or be beholden to the government for anything.
Wow, Justin. All right.
Pretty
So-
Thank
heavy.
you, Justin.
Justin, that was a great comment.
Yeah,
That is
great.
a freaking great comment, and I told Chris before the show. I said Chris would be surprised by my position on this. As a
Joe surprised me in a way.
yeah, as a regular church going person, and even ordained, no less. I loathe taxes. First of all, and that whole system needs to go.
I don't think anybody likes taxes. I don't
Well,
care who you are.
I'm not just
Take my
talking
money.
generically. I'm not talking just generically like I don't like taxes. I'm talking
It's
about
my money.
the way that they
I
go
don't
about
like it
taxing us
when I have
is
to give it
counter to
away.
what the founding fathers intended. They wanted us to be able to control our own taxation. They left the whole concept of taxation without
It's
representation.
just a manipulation of the system.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it was
It's always going to be that way.
it was illegal. They couldn't do it the way that it was done now, which is why they created an amendment to make it happen. But anyway, that aside, I'm like operating on the premise that we are stuck with what we're stuck with. Exactly what Justin just said. I'm like, I want to pay taxes because I want to say when a president is suck and win and not aligning with the principles that work. And I don't want to be bound by the government saying, oh, you're tax-free, you can't talk about government. I'm like, I'm going to say whatever I want. Here's my tax
Freedom of
money.
speech.
That's a great thing. So that's another reason why, if you want to maintain that political neutrality, then that's another good point to put. If you want to be tax-free, or at least it's never tax-free. It's like, that's the other thing. That's the other misnomer when it comes to, I think, churches. There is some still taxes still come into play, regardless, because sales tax and things like that still come into play. But as far as the regular paying taxes for their organization versus Joe Schmo, or whether it comes to regular businesses.
Except when like schools are getting back in, and then it's tax-free weekend. And
Well, that's only sales tax.
for the kids that don't.
That's
know.
only
I
tax.
love tax-free weekend because
That's tax-
I can buy underwear without tax. I had kids, they went through the school
You
system.
know,
Why
sometimes
should
I need
still reap the
pens and
benefits?
pencils.
That's fair. But it's the, I like the fact that if the churches want an opinion politically,
It's a
then they're going to have to pay
trophy.
taxes for it. So I think that's a great, I think that's probably the perfect way to go. If that's, you got to pay into the system if you want to take it apart.
I agree. We have agreement.
Yes, we have. Yeah, see?
There we go.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Welcome to the show. Welcome to
Wow,
the show.
that was
I know we're
weird.
just started now,
An
so.
agreement?
Right. It
Weird.
happens. It happens every now and then.
Okay.
So we already got to wrap up this segment. Another fun round on the show. When we come back, we're gonna have closing thoughts, kind of like your final wrap up take. Did your opinion change or anything? While we've been discussing this, and then we're gonna have some rock out music happening.
Yeah.
We gotta see that. Jay Bee Zay over here. Already heard some little glimpses of it prior to the exit, before the show started. And it's good, guys. You guys gotta stick around. We're looking forward to it. But, we gotta pay the bills, keep the lights on. So another word from one of our sponsors right after this. We'll be right back. silence just to get the segment started. Nobody would shut up. They're all talking because they're drunk already. That's why. Why? This is what happens.
Back to the show. You know what? I'm gonna take over. It's yeah.
This is what happens when you let artists and musicians drink. That's what happens.
I think it's good.
All right, yeah. So look, guys, we're gonna take it home here. We're gonna wrap up and get some closing thoughts, and then we're gonna let Jay Bee Zay rock it out for the end of the show. So look, we've had some good dialogue, good discussion here.
Okay.
Mars doesn't agree.
You've had a really great discussion with that wine.
Right. She's making friends with the cab there. Anyway, closing thoughts. Should mosques, temples, churches, etc. be paying taxes? Should they be tax-free? Has your position changed on this at all since the beginning of the show? What do you think?
Actually, yes, I feel like it has a little bit. I mean, because I'm very secluded, and I do I'm starting a business and being a musician. So actually having conversation with people, I kind of I hate to say it, but yeah, you brought up some very valid points that I wouldn't have thought of. I wouldn't have thought of unless I was here. And I live with Jeff, but we separate ourselves in the house, and it's like the Brady Bunch. We draw a line. It's like, this is my part of the house, this is your part of the house.
Really?
But still,
No, not really.
It's all my house. In the end, it's my house.
But no, you brought up some very valid points, and I wouldn't have thought of it unless I was here. So
welcome to the show.
Yeah. Well, I still have my opinions, but yes, it has.
I'm commemorating.
It has kind of swayed a little bit, It's something I'm gonna go home and think about.
Yeah. That's the nature of the show. That's the idea.
So, and I appreciate that, and actually, thank you for having me on here, man. This is awesome.
Rock on, man. Awesome. Appreciate it. Love having you on. And that's that. What we're trying to show America through the show is that very thing. The idea that if we're civil, if we have an environment where the idea is that we're just going to share our thoughts without jacking with each other and talking smack to each other and all this stuff. We're just honestly sharing our thoughts.
Yeah.
A beautiful thing happens in that moment, in that this kind of a situation can evolve. You're like, if we're all safe and being able to share our thoughts and not knowing that somebody's going to attack me or make me feel like an idiot just for saying what I'm thinking, then really cool stuff happens. So yeah, welcome to the show, man. That's what we do.
Yay!
Mars, what's
What?
closing thoughts? What do you got?
Same thing I said before. If it's that bad that Session's gonna come out and say, hey, we're raiding your Medicaid, everybody's on deck. If what they say is true, I think that would keep them accountable too, don't you? Right? That's my thought.
All right.
Hit it, boy.
Jeff?
No, my stuff still stands. If they provide a service that's great for the populace at large, then sure, that's fine. We do actually have laws or in places to kind of do that stuff, especially with secular organizations. That the religious ones should be held just as accountable. Now, the comment earlier that if they want to have a political opinion, then that automatically excludes them from having any nonprofit status. I like that idea.
Okay.
Everything he says just sounds smart, and I like it.
Because he has glasses.
Well, yeah, I know.
No, I don't know what's going on now. I don't know as I was saying.
You are a gentleman and a scholar, as Joe says.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yes. So I want to challenge you guys to hop over to the Art of Dispute group page, because this question has been posed in the group. We've got like 6,500 members chiming away on this subject, and it's a good one. But we have these kind of topics of discussion 24/7. Over 6,000 members in the group. We average 16, 20,000 comments a month. It's just blowing up over there. Lots of fun discussion. And I genuinely believe that if we teach America how to disagree civilly, that amazing things will happen that betters our society. Right? We start sharing concepts, ideas, and at the end of the day, we're all left with a stronger thought, a stronger process, and it's just better.
Yeah.
But it's time to rock and roll right now. it's time to hear some amazing material. And I think we're overdue at this point. All right, we've got the alcohol.
And be sure to tune in right after that performance, because there'll be the credits with all the information from our guests. And if you want to pursue any of our guests and reach out to them about their services.
Absolutely. We're gonna have
I'm a
some art.
photographer.
We're gonna have some art up on the screen, or some photography up on the screen.
I just like talking.
Some cool pictures up on the screen, that sort of thing. So check out the musical performance, but stick around for the credits at the end, so you can see some of Mars's dope work.
It's dope.
Stop.
Fire.
Stop.
Yes.
Snap.
All right, guys. It's come to that time in the show. It's coming to that time in the show where we are going to prepare for our musical performance. We're walking out. In 3, 2, 1.
So this is a song that I wrote. It's called What I Despise. I wrote this because you're your own worst enemy. You're the one that's going to stop you from accomplishing your goals. And before you know it, you become something that you criticize in other people. So it's more of a self-aware, kind of self-loathing kind of song. But this is it. This is What I Despise.
Hop on 45 and I gotta get out of town, but I'm stuck here like quicksand. And I want to be alone, but I need the comfort from the touch of a woman's hands. I became what I despise. I didn't realize that I became what I despise. I didn't realize. On this lonely road I go, I ain't got no home. The downfall is all I see. I used to talk about unreliability as if it was something killing me. I became what I despise. I didn't realize that I became what I despise. I didn't realize. This isn't where I wanna be. I hope you don't judge me. How did I get here? This isn't where I wanna be. I hope you don't judge me. I became what I despise. I didn't realize that I I didn't realize that I became what I despised. I didn't realize that I became what I despised. I didn't realize. Thanks.
Interception!
Great show.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that was awesome. Awesome performance. Another great show. Jay Bee Zay rocking it out. Hey, what was the name of the song again?
What I Despise.
What I Despise. Kind of like the whole show. No! I'm kidding. It was another awesome show in the can. You guys tune in next week, same time, same channel. Check us out on all of our social media platforms, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, all over the place. Everywhere you can find us. Art of Dispute. Hell, we're even on LinkedIn. I mean,
Find
rock
us.
it out. Find us, right? And we'll be back next week with another great show. See you then.